Nuke Gaming says, "Hi man, I'm back." Yo, what's going on, buddy? What's going on, buddy? So that was a pre-recorded video of the Atomic 7K repair. So we found a few issues with that. We replaced the capacitor on the for the small 16 volt regulated smoothing circuit. That was the small capacitor that blew on the amplifier. We replaced the output FETs. Well, I think, yeah, we've got new output FETs which have come in the post, and we are replacing the driver ICs on the driver board. So that amplifier, and also we have also replaced the voltage regulator, which is the KA712. So we're almost finished with that repair. So let me go and grab the board and we'll continue with it. So the last thing you saw on my pre-recorded video just then was we replaced the voltage regulator on this side of the board over here. This side of the board over here on the heat sinks, they were dead. One of them was dead, so we replaced that. So what we need to do next is I want to change the driver ICs on the driver board, because I think the ones that I fitted previously were actually a little bit duff. So I'm going to go ahead and replace those. Ah, damn it. Ah, dang it. I'm sure they used to focus. Alright, there we go. So it's going to preheat the board a little bit. Just heat the general area so these come off a little bit easier. What are the dimensions on the JBL 14001? I have no idea. Why don't you use Google, my friend? Speaker Free Code 2. Have you ever heard? There's a fantastic website that I visit sometimes called Google, and it has countless information on it, including the dimensions of the JBL 14001. There we go. Number 1 removed. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Número 4. ¿Cómo se llama el número 4? Me llamo Pedro. Vale, vale. Vamos! These are quite hot. Ow! These are quite hot. These are quite hot. If you pick up a chip that you just finished blasting with 400 degrees, it's gonna be hot. Learn from my mistakes, people. Don't pick up the chip when it's hot. Alcohol spray. Don't breathe this. Although I was considering drinking some of it after we was repairing that JBL the other night. Let's quickly clean solder on the pads. They deserve it. They deserve it. See how this solder is flux core, so I can just run a nice bead along it and it doesn't create bridges, although I have a small bridge across that cap now. We're gonna plunk these in place, my friend. Hot damn, look at that. It almost looks factory. No, that'll do. I think if its legs are pointing up, it's dead. Yeah, definitely. If you've got an IC chip, if you want to know if it's dead or not, if it's laying like this, then it's probably dead. Give it a prod a few times, see if it wiggles any of its legs. If its legs don't wiggle and it doesn't right itself, it's probably dead. I feel like I'm playing Tiddlywinks. Come on, there we go. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. ¿Dónde piensa ir a las vacaciones, Pedro? A Inglaterra. Inglaterra. Muy bien. Inglaterra es muy bonita. Caliente. Muy caliente. John Mix says, why do they blow so often? They're quite slutty, to be fair. Damn, this board looks so big. After I've been looking at this little thing, I look at this board and I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking massive. Okay, so the driver board is slotted back in. So we slotted that back in, the headers just there. So what we're going to do now is apply some power, some bitchin' power. Nah, it's back in protect again. Oh man. What aren't you happy about, my friend? What aren't you happy about? Okay, I'm gonna do something interesting here, I think. I'm gonna power the right, so first of all next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna power the board up one more time with the driver board out. I'm gonna measure on the driver board headers here. And we're going to make sure that we have all the correct supply voltages that this amplifier needs to work. I'm just going to continue cleaning the board. I'm just going to continue cleaning the board because we've had success with cleaning the board on a previous amplifier. So I'm going to continue cleaning the board. I'm just going to short out these caps again. So we need to find out por qué. This time it is actually going higher than it was last time. There we go. So it's kind of wanting to come on now, maybe. See there, we've got 82, 83, 87 volts on there now. Okay, well that's a bit better than before. So all we did there was we cleaned the pads for the driver board, and we cleaned the pads for the outputs. So that seems to be a bit more happy now. So driver board's in, but I don't see any switching waves. I don't see any switching waves on there. So perhaps we need to feed this amplifier with an RCA, a sine wave through the RCAs. Perhaps we need to feed this thing with a sine wave through the RCAs, because sometimes that is required for the amplifier to actually start giving me some switching waves. I'm going to play 50 Hertz through this and see whether the driver board switches or not. Doesn't have to be exactly 50 Hertz, but there or thereabouts will be nice. That'll do. Yes, no, no, yes. Nothing still. Still no switching. So the fact that the driver board isn't switching means the driver board is probably not getting the required voltages to turn on. So if we put the driver board in and then nothing happens, we don't get any switching on the gates here, that means the driver board is not being, the ICs, the driver ICs are not turning on. So I'm going to pull the driver board out, and I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to measure some of these voltages that the driver board should be receiving. Back up to 115, 123, 130 volts, 135 volts, etc. Let us measure. Let us measure together. Huh. So we have plus 15 volts. That's correct. So on one pin we have our plus 15 volts. That's good. We have our plus 5 volts. That's also good. We don't seem to have our minus 5 volts or our minus 15 volts. And that could be why this thing then is not turning on. Okay. So, where are those voltages produced, I wonder? Carolis says 7915. Very good. He is correct. This guy knows his stuff. But what's powering the 7915? The 7915 is either taking the full rail and reducing it to the voltage we need, or it's taking the smaller 16 volts, which is probably what it's doing. So it's taking the smaller 16 volt-ish voltage from these small taps coming off of these last transformers, and there are some rectifier diodes here off of the transformer, and so we need to make sure that these are all working. So if we power the amplifier back up again, here we have 20 volts of AC going into the rectifier diodes, and on the outputs we have minus 28 volts and plus 23 volts. That's interesting. We're going to flip the board over and I'm going to measure the voltage outputs on all of these small voltage regulators. So as was said in the comments, we have a 7915 and a 7815, and we should also have a 7, do you have a 7805 as well, perhaps? We have a 79, yeah, that's right, 7805 and a 7905. So we're going to check the voltages on all of those. But do I have a spare 7915? Because the 7915 is the important one here. That's the one that doesn't seem to be working. So this is a sundown audio. So I'm going to nick the low voltage regulator from this amplifier just temporarily. Okay, so let's test that 7915 in our transistor tester and see whether it still actually is something that resembles a voltage regulator or not. No! No sir! No sir, it is not. So, we had a damaged 7915. Bye bye. So let's attach our new 7915. Hi Jesse, good to see you on the stream. No, we still don't have minus 15 volts, you know. We still don't have it. So, whatever blew the KA7915 also blew whatever is powering it, either whatever is powering it or whatever is after it. So let's turn the board over, and by turning the board over we can probe the bottom of the KA7915. So we can see here, these are the pads for the KA7915, and pin 2 is meant to be the input, as we've just found out from a very kind commenter and also from the datasheet. So if we trace the trace of pin 2, we go wobble up, boobly boop, down to here. And this is, from what I remember over the other side of the board, this here is actually an inductor. So this is a green inductor that should measure 5 ohms. So I'm going to guess that we have got voltage on one side of it and we've got nothing on the other side of it. So let's see, is that the case? Let's fire her up, baby, and let's find out whether that inductor is in fact open, which I think is probably the case. Boop. There goes our rail voltage up into the sky. So let's see. On one side of that we have, yes, boys, we have 25 volts on one side of that inductor, and on the other side we have nada, nothing at all. So the problem with this amplifier, preventing this amplifier from turning on entirely, is a teeny bicicleta inductor on the board. Tiny little green inductor that went open and prevented us from getting our 15 volts. If I put my multimeter on here, that reads open, and that one reads 5 ohms. So we've got one of them here which is dead. So let's replace the dead one. Actually, let's replace both of them, because why not? We might as well. It cost me about 5 pence for that part, so let's just replace both of them for something a little bit better. We've got a nice inductor in here, a nice replacement inductor for that somewhere in here. The voltage for that has travelled all the way along the board, all the way from here. And so it's gone past, it's ran very close to the high frequency switch on the output FETs. So that will have picked up some switching frequency. So the inductor here it low passes that. So it basically just gets rid of any of that high frequency switching from having gone past the output section. So these are our replacement inductors that we're going to fit. These are the same value. They're the same value as these. They have the same markings on them, I believe. Yes, well, they do. Yellow, purple, or yellow, violet, black, gold. So these will work beautifully. So let's get to soldering these bad boys out. So I went to remove one of the legs of that inductor there, and the leg actually snapped clean away from. Oh, holy crap! Yeah, look, the inductor is just falling to pieces. It's just absolutely falling to pieces. So this has obviously taken quite a hit. What do you think? Is it going to work? Ow! That was stupid. See there, the two waves, they are coming apart from each other. It'll work like a charm now. Boom! You people realise Sam didn't know what Bearvids really was when he created the account. No, it was a porn site before. It was a porn site, wasn't it? But I didn't realise. Yeah, boy! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Look at that! Look at that beautiful looking ass wave there. Oh, I say beautiful, not really beautiful, but look at that! That makes me a happy Bearvids. That makes me a happy Bearvids. Let's make sure that we have that nice looking wave on all of our gate pads, because we need it on all of them. So we got it there. Yes, we do. We got it there. Yes, we do. And do we have it over here? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Celebrate good times. Come on. Ba, 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 ba. It's a celebration. So we will have 8 banks. So we need 8 FETs because we've got 4 driver ICs. So this driver chip, this driver board has 4 driver ICs, and each IC has a high side and a low side. So we're going to have 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to need 8 FETs, 1 per bank. So our 2 voltages are starting to pull away from each other there. Okay, so I saw a tiny bit of low side drive there. I saw the tiniest bit of low side drive there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my scope onto AC coupling and zoom in so we can see the low side drive there. Okay, there we go. We saw some low side drive. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. My scope changes settings a bit more so you can see. So that is a not bad low side drive for this amplifier. I'm going to change where my scope is probing, and we're going to probe the high side drive now to see whether the high side drive also looks okay. And for the high side drive, I'm going to need to turn my scope back up to DC coupling and up to 50 volts. Not bad. That's a pretty nice looking high side drive. I'm going to delete trace 2 on the scope so we can see what that high side drive looks like, because that is quite important as to how the amplifier is performing. Yeah, that looks fucking good. That looks fucking good. Yes. Booyah. So what I'm going to do now is fire it up for a bit longer. I'm going to leave it idling for about a minute or so. I'm going to probe the other side because I've probed that side of high side drive, so we need to check the other side as well. Looks the same. We need to check that they both look equal. Okay, let's go again. Looks good to me. Wait for the relay to click in. Let's leave it on for a little bit. Let's take our thermal imaging camera and let's just make sure nothing's getting super hot on the board. Okay, so we have, yeah, nothing's getting excessively hot over here. None of the FETs are getting crazy hot either. Let's turn it off just for a sec and feel for heat. Nope, pretty lukewarm in there, pretty lukewarm over here. Yeah, we're good. We are all good. This amplifier is a fucking success. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Atomic 7K. Hallelujah. And then we're just gonna, I mean, this amplifier is a success, so I'm gonna fit these FETs in place, these brand spanking new ones, and power it up again just to double check. But I think we're good to go forward. I'm also, because obviously the driver board is still currently in headers, so we still got the driver board in headers. So I'm going to remove those, remove the headers, take the headers out of the board, and hard solder the driver board in so that it is secure, because we know that it works now and it's all good to go forward. Fit the new FETs and reassemble the amplifier and give the customer a call and be like, yo, your Atomic 7K is up on the road, man. Give me some dollar, give me some money. See, this is the long boring bit of the stream where I'm fucking soldering in FETs. I might stop this in a minute and go and try and fix something else for you guys, so you've actually got something interesting to look at, and I'll do this off stream a bit later on. So once I finish this line of FETs, we're going to jump onto an Orion D5000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream very, very briefly, and then I'm going to restart it with a new title so that people can jump on and see the D5000 and they get a notification. Maybe they'd quite like to know how to repair that, because this video has gone on for long enough and it's still showing Atomic. So if you're interested in watching a D5000, and the Orion D5000 is possibly one of the most complex amplifiers that you can look at, because the whole thing is controlled by a PIC, a programmable IC chip, and if that dies then you're kind of screwed. So if you're interested in checking that out, then stay tuned on the channel. Check your emails when I go live again in a little bit of time this evening, and we shall check that out. But until then, I'm going to have some more beer and continue my boring ass soldering. So